All right, guys. So this is Niles with A&J Demo and Salvage. We've got a 1930s barn here that our goal is to tear it down and build a 1,000 square foot cabin or house. I've got a couple friends that are thinking about wanting to do something like that. There's quite a bit of options on this building in terms of that. We could actually build a little bit bigger if we wanted to, but I think we're going to get creative with it and just have a good time with it. So we'll walk around the barn a little bit. The reason we have to tear it down is because of this back section. We'll walk around here. So unfortunately, it was going to be too much for the owners of the property to fix this barn. There was hopes to do something inside of it, and I'll show you some footage of that later, where they were going to build, I think, living quarters in there. But no, super cool barn. Like I said, about 1930. A lot of nice lumber on it still. It's going to be a lot of work, but we're gonna get after it. We took some footage last couple weeks of this barn, and I got pretty much all of the metal off of the other side. This is the last bit of metal I got to do right here. Today I'm gonna get a little bit of footage of getting the. So they bent the metal. I don't know if you can see that or not. They bent the metal at the drip line at that pitch change, and it made it really tough to get the other side off. So I think what I'm gonna do today is cut that bend out, and then when I'm up there working, it's gonna be a little easier. Me having to run up and down that pitch, which is almost straight up and down, gets a little tough, and then having to run all the way down, kick the bend out. So when you pull this old metal, it'll roll up if you got nothing hanging you up. So there's like usually about 4 or 5 sets of nails, usually grommeted nails, and you can, if you do each line up and down, and you'll see me the footage later after I cut these bends out, it comes off pretty decent. If you have to fight, if it won't roll on you and you have to fight all the way across the sheet laterally, it'll bend and crinkle on you, and it really doesn't do me too much good to pull all this stuff off when it's all beat up, because it's in real good shape. It's pretty stuff in the right application. You don't want it all dented up and beat up. So and before we get started, I'll kind of show you guys what the next phase is going to be. So the skip sheeting ended up being pretty nice, and I apologize for not getting a video of it as I pulled it off. We ended up getting in kind of a hurry on that, but I'll show you what it looks like now when there's more light upstairs. So this stuff here is the skip sheeting, and they used it. They didn't have plywood back in the day, and they would use it to nail off the cedar shake shingles to it, and that was the roof. I'm sure everybody's seen a cedar shake roof. It ends up being a really nice material. It's got nice character to it. And on this barn, fortunately, most of it's in pretty good shape. There was a little rot where they didn't get the metal roof on in time, but for the most part, it looks really nice. Here's the 2x6s. That'll be another day. Those are gorgeous. I think you can see that. The circle saw marks on that stuff. Wish there's a ton of that. But so here's the skip sheeting, and you can see all the little shake nails here. And you know, this whole barn, when they put this thing up, had cedar shake, which was exhausting, I'm sure, to put on. But it served its purpose for a long time. You know, cedar's kind of tried and true in the Northwest. So, you know, that was before 3-tab roofing, and even before metal and whatnot. That's what everybody used. It was cheap. You know, it was hand split, probably down the road somewhere. So that's what that skip sheeting is. And, you know, if I do any more of these videos or what, you'll hear me refer to it from time to time. You know, there was just a lot of lumber on these older buildings. And if this stuff isn't completely rotten, like if the cedar shake roof went too far, if they let it go too far before they put a metal roof on it, then all this ends up getting water on it. And usually up underneath the cedar was fir, which does not hold up near as well as cedar. So, you know, the cedar can only serve its purpose if there's no holes in it or the wind didn't blow it off. Which there was a lot of repair work done over the years on the cedar roofs. But, yeah, like I said, the fir just doesn't hold up. And this one, it looked like they got the metal roof on fairly early in the life of the barn. Which you can see it's pretty rusted out. So it preserved a lot of this stuff underneath here. And that's what we're going to be chasing down over the next week. And I'm going to try to get you guys some footage of me up here doing this. You can see the pitch here. I'm holding the camera level. So it makes it kind of tough, like I was just talking about. We're going to get that bend out that was down there, just so I don't have to fight that. It ended up being a little too time consuming for me to run. You gotta walk up and down this in order to loosen that sheet up to roll it off out of the nails. So we're gonna work off of the ladder. We're gonna cut that stuff out, and then I'll be able to roll this metal out, I think, a lot easier. And see if we can't get the rest of this metal off today, and then get into the cedar shakes and the skip sheeting on the other side of the barn here. Now, I think there's enough light in here, hopefully, with this camera. You can see there's just a ton of skip sheeting. You can see how these rafters were put in, which was super cool, I think. You know, they must have, with the precision of this barn, it's a hard one to tip these rafters up from the ground, which they would do a lot of the times with big heavy rafters or beams. They would tip them up with either horses or manpower. You know, with the precision of this barn, I almost think they did a lot of this off of scaffolding, which they would have built inside of this barn. You know, just real makeshift scaffolding. Built everything up around it and then dropped the scaffolding. I'm gonna get started. I hope you guys get some good shots of the quality of this old rough sawn. It's really cool stuff. I think we're getting some light in here, and we're gonna chase all this stuff down and see if we can't do something cool with it. Got her done. It's 3 o'clock. We got 5 hours in out here today. Got a little farther than I actually thought I would. That did help a lot, getting that crinkle out of there. I was actually able to, if you get the bottoms loosened and the tops loosened, you can kind of use the weight of the sheet and kind of whip it a little bit and kind of rip them off. I don't know, you'll probably see me doing a couple of them up there. They were nailed on pretty good. This was a hard barn to do that on, but I got a couple of them. It speeds it up quite a bit. So I got dug in right here, which is a nice point to be at on each side, especially on a barn like this. I lucked out and had a loft over here, and we'll walk up there real quick. I'm not going to shoot a ton of video about it because we're going to get the skip sheet in and whatnot, but I'll show you the quality of the wood and kind of what it's like to be dug in up there. I think they were trying to do some living quarters or something up there, but I like being here because you got a safe place to hook up to, and then you get out on the roof, and you know, it's a place where you can have some tools in case you run into something, and I don't have to, you know, run all the way down. And you know, I hate having, unless I build a little box up there for Sawzall and different tools and stuff, I just carry my bar with me, really. And I did drop it today. I don't drop it very often, but I did. So it was a long trek for me to go all the way back up over the barn. But you can see I guess the homeowner said it was like 50 feet, 50 something. So yeah, it's a good sized barn. So yeah, this wood over here that I got dug into on the loft is gonna be nice. And you know, whatever they were doing in here, you know, some of this wood's in decent shape. You know, it's newer stuff, but you know, lumber's kind of spendy, and I got a couple things I want to do around the house. So you can see here, and I checked this out, so all this is in good shape. So I got nice stable ground from, you know, from here, which is 2x8, which are in good shape, 3/4 inch fir flooring, and then some of this actually has subfloor on it. But the part that's going to really come in handy for this barn is this. Now I've got all of this well done. A carpenter did this. It's all tied into here, so it's nice and stable, and I'll be able to work off of it as I'm working both sides of this barn. You know, this right here spans side to side, so I'll be able to stage, you know, wood that I can't drop. You know, I can get a lot of that stuff down to that point, and then you know, we got to kind of pedal it downstairs, but it just makes it nice. I hate being up there where there's just nothing going on. You know, like I said, you drop something, you got to run all the way down. You feel a little bit better. You know, harnessing up, I don't have to go all the way. I had to crawl all the way up around this thing and then all the way back around the other side. And I'm sure you've noticed from video that my harness always wants to hang up on these nails, so you always got to keep track of it and make sure you're not hanging up on these shake nails and whatnot, and keep a nice taut line, because a harness can save your life, but it's still kind of an eerie thought to think about dangling up there or something. So yeah, here's where I got dug in. So this is all in real good shape. I can walk around on this. I got all this area here. So when I get dug in over here, I'll be able to stage not only the skip sheeting and some of this stuff off of this, but this shiplap is super nice. So I can stage down to here without piling up too much weight on this. But I got to do something with this door. I got to work this whole gable end. As much of this shiplap I can get off of here before I do it. I either pull the very top over or get a lift. And then this is a nice, comfortable step down for me right here. I can walk right up out onto the roof and work a lot of this through here. You know, it sucks I don't have it over there. That's where the main damage was. All right, guys, barn demo done for the day. We're out of here. We got soccer practice.